The land of Uz lay still that day. Its wounds had healed, but scars would stay. The grass that drank his tear-filled cries lay scarred beneath a gentler sky. The midday clouds were soft and wide, and Job stood tall, those tears long dried. And though his body once was torn, he breathed the air like one reborn. Though fields were full and herds were wide, these days of laughter still held cries. Deep memories like drifting leaves, a joy that pain no longer thieves. He placed no hope in wealth or land, he'd seen it wash away like sand. He knew the grief that scorches ground, where once the song of life were found. He sat beside his eldest one, a little girl beneath the sun. They looked out on a golden plain, the sight once marked by loss and pain. A farmhouse stood where once there lay the house that fell that awful day. The trees regrown, the barn looked fair, but she'd heard loss had happened there.
Papa,
She said.
is this the place where other kids once knew your face?
He nodded slowly, gazing down, a silence loud as any sound.
What are you thinking, Papa, now?
He paused, then brushed her furrowed brow. Some thoughts are big, too big to say, but ask, and I will try my way.
Why did they die and you fall ill? That surely wasn't our God's will.
Her father, pausing, raised his head, and in a quiet voice he said, I know you'd like to think it's so, that hardship strikes and God says no, that God brings good and never pain, that only sweet things bear his name. But I've wrestled long and deep through nights too dark for me to sleep. Is sorrow Satan's work alone, or sent by God to shape his own? The devil strikes, but can't break free from what God grants in sovereignty. So we must bless him, loss or gain, both serve his plan. We praise his name.
But Papa, God's not mean or mad. Why would he want to make you sad?
Yes, Job said gently, he is good, but not so simply understood. My friend spoke words they thought were true. God only strikes a wicked few. They could not see the painful times apart from dark and hidden crimes. They couldn't see a higher plan, that God refines the heart of man. And pain, though bitter, plays a part in drawing out a faithful heart.
So you think God was kind to make you sick and let your heart so break, to take my siblings and your peace and not allow your grief to cease?
Beware, Jemima, God is kind in ways that will not fit your mind. Unkindly, he has kindly shown that he was not my hope alone. She sat and pondered all he said, then gently tilted up her head.
So God's still near when skies are gray, when all we have gets stripped away?
Oh yes, said Job, especially then. That's when he speaks unlike all men. Not always loud, be sure and hear. The God who wounds is always near. And one day, when this life is done, we'll rise again to greet the sun. And every tear will be erased, and we will see our Savior's face. And we'll bow low as we can bow. Come here, my love, I'll show you how. And when she crouched before his feet, he picked her up, and with a sweet and tender grip, he said, watch this. And on her cheek, he put a kiss. So listen now to me once more. What we have lost, God will restore. When God creates a humble hush and makes calamity his brush, he lets the pain run deep and wide, draw us closer to his side. He walks us through the hardest place to show the riches of his grace. It won't be long until the rod becomes the tender kiss of God.